Hi, Peter Boolkah here, and welcome to today's edition of the Transition Guide. Now today I want to talk to you about paying off debt. And that is a topic that seems to be coming up time and time again. And I have a lot of people reaching out to me and saying, well, I'm so badly in debt, I don't know what to do. So I've put together a 5-stage plan on how you can get rid of debt. And really it starts at number 1. You see, debt is all about your relationship with money. It is your mindset around money. And the question you've got to ask yourself, from a mindset perspective, do you have a saver mindset or a spender mindset? And they're two really different ways of thinking. Savers are people that will think about, okay, I'm going to put this away, that away. They're very much cautious people. They're saving for tomorrow at the expense of some of today. Whereas spenders, they'll quite happily say, well, I want to go on holiday. I don't have the money, yet I'll put it on the credit card and think about it later. Yeah, saver mindset is thinking about later at the expense of today. A spender mindset is thinking about today at the expense of the future. And you've got to work out which one are you, because that will determine how you handle things. And really, in order for you to reduce debt, if you've got the spender mindset, you need to shift that. You need to get some help into creating a saver mindset. Otherwise, your old habits may not be maybe the habits that have actually got you in trouble in the first place. And if you continue having those same habits and that same relationship with money, you're going to go through the vicious circle and always end up where you've been. Number 2, discipline. In order to get rid of debt, you have to be massively disciplined. Are you an impulsive person or a measured person? The impulsive person is that person that sees something and they want to have it. They'll go and buy it. They won't think about whether they can afford it or not. They go out there and they get it. Whereas the measured person, they're going to be thinking, okay, I want it. How am I going to get it? Or more importantly, can I afford it? And how can I afford it? Now, I know that there's going to be some people out there that are in the poverty trap and they're constantly trying to find money and they can't seem to get out of it. But I'll give you some tactics on that a little bit later. Number 3, value set. Are you exchanging time for money? So a lot of people say, yeah, but it's okay, I've got a job. So what am I supposed to do? I get paid this much an hour, I get this much a week, and that's what I have to live off. No, it's not what you have to live off. It's what you choose to live off. Yes, you may have to live off of that for now. But the question is going to be, do you have to live off that forever? No. But that requires change on your side. How do you go from exchanging time for money to exchanging value for money? So one of the things was, I used to work for McDonald's and I started off on something really pitiful. I think it was £1.30 an hour. And back then they had different sort of wage brackets for different age groups. You could have done the same job, but if you were under 18, you got massively paid less. Well, for 2 years, I could either bitch and moan about, well, that's my end and I'm going to have to just work on the really bare minimum wage, or I could do something about it. And in McDonald's, you had the opportunity of the more you learn, the more you earned. So the better you became, the more useful you became, whether you learned all the different stations, then each time you sort of become more trained, you got a pay rise. Okay, and at the time it may have only been 5 pence an hour, but by the time you did all the modules, that ended up being quite a lot of money per hour. And then when you said, well, every time you sort of took the decision, I want to step up, I want to sort of learn, and I want to sort of move up in the organisation, take on additional responsibilities, that also came with money. So that is the whole exchanging your value. It's saying, okay, do you know what, I'm going to make myself more valuable to the organisation, because if I do that, then I can earn more money. And the interesting thing is, yes, McDonald's provided training, etc., and they did all of that, and that was great. I did a lot of the education on my own time. And that was interesting. As a 16-year-old, I took stuff home and learnt it. because the quicker I took the stuff on board, the quicker I would move up. Number 4, it's all about budgets. Are you actually budgeting your life? Now, I run very strict personal budgets. I know what's coming in, I know what's going out. I know what my affordability is. Okay, as a 16, 17-year-old, I didn't know that. And a lot of the bad habits, I got into debt as a youngster because I never had the disciplines or the mindset of paying off debt. I just accumulated debt. Probably one of the biggest challenges I had was that I got a credit card quite young. And that relationship with that credit card was interesting. I seemed to be spending. And then the debt would rise. And before you know it, it can be quite sort of out of control and can be quite sort of daunting, to say the least. So you need to budget, you need to understand your numbers, you need to be brutally honest. Where do you stand with that right now? What are the brutal facts? And more importantly then, what are you going to do? If you've got high credit card debts, then you pay off the credit card with the highest interest rate first. You look at doing a balance transfer if you can get access to 0% credit cards. You do those little things to start shifting it. You start looking at your utilities. Can I move my utilities over? One of my favourite, it wasn't at the time, but one of my favourite exercises is on your mortgage statement. Look at your annual mortgage statement and look at how much interest you are paying per year for where you live. Then think about it and say, well, over the entire lifespan of a mortgage, how much interest are you going to be paying? And then start thinking, if you had a saver mindset, and I don't mean saving money in the bank, but if you had the saver mindset where you started to pay off a little bit overpayments on your mortgage, how much interest do you think you would save over a period of time? Do the exercise. It's frightening. And finally, I know that a lot of you have got a job, you're working hard, and you perhaps say, well, I've got nothing else, I can't do anything else, I'm just at my max. I want you to start thinking, what does your side hustle need to look like? How can you earn money for yourself on the side? And I don't mean going and getting a third or fourth job for somebody else. What do you need to learn so that you can add value to yourself, so that you can start earning for yourself? We're in a beautiful age where we can do side hustles. You just need to work out where your gift is, what your side hustle can be, and how you can earn more. Now, we can go into far more detail on this. We don't really have the time to in this episode. But if you want any more information around how you can start paying off your debt, how you can start adding more value to your skill set so you can earn more because you've added more value to organizations, you need work around your mindset, head over to Boolkah.com and get in touch. And if you love today's episode, please like it, subscribe and share it so that others can benefit also. And finally, always remember that failing to learn is learning to fail, and please stay safe.